and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the round 16. To the round 16 here of this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup. Sparkling Tuna Cup number 95. And we are jumping into our fresh best of 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of the UK, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. He's Zerg, he's crazy, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner we have the red Protoss player, we have the Swedish Protoss, also representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Sigge. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is Gamba time. Predictions are open, place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZvP. Oh my god, again, I wasn't even certain if Eva would play Zerg. I'll be honest, I wasn't too certain. He didn't even know. I was like, Papi, is this gonna be a ZvP, PvP, or TvP? And he said, I don't know. he was like, I'll roll the dice and we'll find out, Papi. He's like, okay, fair enough. Eva didn't even know coming into this. But here we go. We do have our initial matchup here. We have our initial best of 3, and we're going to be settling in, and we'll see what Sigge has to offer in this matchup. Now, we saw quite a lot of his PvP earlier, and it does seem to have kind of like the one go-to opener, going for the faster Nexus and going into his Robo opener against Protoss. We'll see what he does enjoy going for here against Zerg. I'm imagining Gate Cyber expanded to Stargates, but everyone has their own flair to things, and yeah, we'll see what Sigge prefers. See what he does prefer. Likewise, across the map, going to be getting into our own game, getting into our own ZvP. Hatch gas pool, standard open. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Eba, he is one to at times mix in all-ins, but for the most part, we do expect standard openers into a third base, and after that third base, then we might see Eba commit into a 3-base all-in, but that's typically where we're expecting the aggression, less so before that. When is Eva not crazy? True. Ay. Este Eva. SMH my head. And Safari does zone the probe away. Does on away, claim his third base as well. Again, nothing crazy, just taking his third base, saturating his bases, joining on up, and getting his queens. Everything so far looking as it should, and we have our take of choice, Stargate. Stargate opener out of Sigge. So far, standard opener, Stargate, most likely into an Oracle and into a third. If he does deviate, and if he goes for a Phoenix or a Void Ray, we will be sure to scream out at him. We'll try to point it out. If he does mix up his opener, and if he does go for a different unit early on. Otherwise, we're expecting an Oracle into a third base, into the mid game. Ooh, going for a much faster third, actually. Very greedy here. Bearing in mind, we have 1 Adept, right? Sorry, two Adepts. They're across the map. Very fast third base here. This is quite greedy here from Sigge. If Lings were able to bypass here, they can very easily force a cancel. There's nothing at home to defend. There's literally nothing here. There's no Adepts. There's no Oracle. There's nothing at home to defend. This is insane greed. And Sigge, he should get away with that, and he does open up Void Ray first. Okay. I'm paying attention. I'll be honest, I think that this, I believe this is a Hearthstone build, right? Like, I remember casting Hearthstone, maybe 2 years ago at DreamHack Atlanta, I think it was like DreamHack Atlanta a couple of years ago, where Hearthstone, he was showcasing this opener in this build, and I remember it was catching some of the Korean Zergs off guard. I remember that DRG, I think this was during the meta of Gressvan. I think it was during the Gressvan map pool. I remember DRG and it was another Zerg player. I think it might have been either Shin or Solar, but I remember some of the Korean Zergs having a hard time trying to punish this. And I remember Hearthstone getting away with so much greed against them. And fun fact, the player that actually beat him, this was on the open stage of DreamHack Atlanta. It was in the open bracket. The person that shut him down, while Hearthstone was knocking down players like DRG and players like, I want to say Solar. It was either Solar or Shin, one of the two. But it was Lambo. Like, Lambo was in the same bracket. And Lambo, he shut Hearthstone down so hard. And it was like, it's like clearly it showed that like Lambo was a little more familiar with like Hearthstone's build and Hearthstone's opener, more so than the Koreans, and Lambo was much more comfortable. Specifically against Hearthstone. But here we go. Eba does move out. There's going to be a Twilight Council follow-up here out of Sigge. I see a Twilight Council. I see no Forge. This was like Glaves. Looks like Glaive Adepts. We'll keep an eye on our Protoss here. Show us what you got. Gateways are almost done. Blink, not glaives, but no forge. Okay, interesting. There's no forge, there's no +1. If this game goes on any longer without a forge, this could turn into a 3-base all-in with just mass blink stalker. Speaking of all-in, we're just walking across the map. We spoke about the greed from Sig and E, but he just sent it across the map. What do we have? We have 2-base saturation, and look at this, nothing at the third. The third base just for lava, so no drones, no saturation, straight up 2-base all-in out of E. As he rallies across the map, how much does he have? He has 5 queens. He has 5 queens, Mass Ravager, Mass Ling. He's making his way towards the third base. There's 1 shield battery to defend. Blink is halfway done, getting up to halfway done, and we'll see if Sig can hold on. See if he can survive. Here we go. Eva does push forward, baiting at the stasis, collapsing in the army. Lings they do slip into the mineral line. Do slip in, catching out more probes. Okay, 8 probes going to be going down. Not bad. German taxi, no taxi. We just walk. This is this is a queen walk across the map. There's no taxi involved. Nah. The Uber was taking too long. We just walk it back. We just send it. We just send it across the map. Takes out the initial Oracle, takes out the Cybercore as well. Cybercore does fall. And again, there's no shield, there's no defensive setup here at the natural. So many Stalker's going to be going down. Blink is still not yet done. Yeah, still no Blink. Not like this. Zel's going to be focused down. Oof. And with that, there's barely an army standing here. There's barely anything left. The boys are being pulled at a moment of desperation. Sig just could not quite defend in time. Wasn't quite ready for this. Again, a little bit too greedy behind this. And GG gets called. Eva, he will overwhelm. He will break through. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Eva, he does take a lead in the series. Again, bearing in mind a couple of things happened here. 1, Sig was being greedy. He was cutting corners. On top of that, remember, he went Void Ray first. He did delay his Oracle, so with that, he had delayed scouting, delayed reaction as to what was happening. He did not see the third base, did not see how undersaturated the third base was. That's why there was only 1 shield battery. And that 1 shield battery was at the third base. There was nothing ready at the natural, and again, under-defended at the third as well. So it did catch Sig off guard. GG. GG, well played. With that, Eva, he does take the lead in the series. Now we're getting to game number 2. Jumping into game 2 here, and we'll see if he can bounce back. Right, let's go. As game 2 is going to be on ley lines. And we'll see if Sig goes for the same opener. That's what I'm most curious by. Is he going to go for the same opener? Does he go for the same style? Do we go for another fast third base? Do we slow things down and go for a standard opener instead? My eyes are going to be on Sig. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of the UK, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Eva. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Swedish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes as well. He just wants to play some StarCraft. Can he get up to 3-base saturation? And we get into a longer game. It is Sig. Let's go. More like the German failed hail and they just walked. Smurge, Pappy, Smurge. Oh, no. Not like this. It's fine, it's fine. Hey, look, they got to their destination, okay? They got there. In good time as well. Good time. They made it, Pappy, they made it. As we, behind this, we are going to be setting up so far just hatch gas pool, no early gas, no early spawning pool here. And once again, my eyes are going to be on Sig. We'll see if he once again goes for a faster expansion before second gateway, before even an extra wave of units. We'll see if he does rush into a faster nexus. For now, gate expanded Cybercore into tech of choice. Nothing crazy. Nothing wild. Eba setting a tone for the series. And by no means does Eba have to all in again. Like, nah, he can chill, he can calm down. But if he sees more greed out of Sig, I'm sure that will kind of force a reaction. That will cause Eba to double down once again. Go. I'm trying to remember, was it the Gressvan map pool or was it the Cosmic Sapphire map pool? I can't quite recall. It's been a couple of years. It's been a while, Pappy. It's been a while. I think it was Gressvan. I think. I want to believe. So now, oh my god, so now we're going to be opening up Not with the Stargate with a Twilight Council. So hyper aggression here from our red Protoss player. Probe is hidden on the left hand side. We're going for a proxy gateway. We're going for a proxy setup here. This does scream Glaive Adepts, not with a robo, but with a proxy instead. Okay. Now Lings, they do slip in, they get a full scout. Oh, they get a full scout of the main base. They get eyes on the Twilight Council. Eba is aware. Adept across the map gets 2 drone kills. But Eba now knows what's coming his way. It is going to be Glaives. And again, we're getting ready for the proxy. Now again, as I mentioned, I believe the reasoning and the power behind this proxy or behind this variation of Glaive Adept is you skip the robo. You skip the robo, which means you skip out on the warp prism, and instead you rely on the proxy to warp in across the map. And it does mean that you can save money and save resources that would have been spent on a robo and on a prism instead on more adepts. Oh, it's a fake out. As in, I believe this should be a fake expansion. So rushing into Glaives, how many gates are we on so far? Only 2 gateways, but we should be committing a little bit harder here. Right? Okay, you let him get, there we go. I was waiting for the gateway explosion, so we have more gates on the way. Now, on the one hand, I'm loving this expansion here from Sig. If only the Overlord didn't see all the gateways. Like the problem here is that Eba, he sees the gateway explosion. Like he knows to like be afraid. Yeah, Roach production has begun. Roach speed is on the way. Eba does get eyes on the Nexus. And how many gateways do we have? So it's going to be 3 here at the natural. We have 1 in the main, so 4, and then with a proxy, 5th gateway. So 5 gate setup. We can go up to 6. Delayed robo. More depth should be warping in. And Eba is preparing. You can see Eba, he's ready here for the wall. The drone is in position to fully wall off the natural. Roaches are massing up. Eba cutting workers at 2 base saturation. He's on 3 gases. 3 gases, 2 bases. Roach speed is almost done. Now what's scary here for Sig is that if Sig doesn't do anything with this build, then Eba is going to turn this defense into an offense. What's on the way? Roach speed. When Roach speed kicks in, bam, we can send it across the map. We can just turn this into a 2 base all-in. We can turn this into a 2 base all-in. And what is Sig going to have to defend against the all-in? Adepts. Glaive Adepts against a Roach all-in. Like Adepts, they do nothing here in this kind of situation. And Sig, yeah, he doesn't make use of it. He doesn't make use of the proxy. He's trying to transition out of this. We do have a second robo on the way. He's going into double robo, double immortal production, which can excel in a longer game. But here comes Eba. Okay, we have some force fields. We can try to force field, but the Roaches, they just keep going. They dive on top of the sentry. Sentries go down. Boys are being pulled. And there's nothing here. There's just nothing here. There's 1 shield battery. Now the second shield battery as well. Boys are falling. Roaches, they can kite back. Yeah, they shut down the mineral line, and then they just go for the kill. They go for the kill, they go for the throw. Remember, Blink is not done. Roaches, they can one-shot. They can and they will one-shot these Stalkers. Oh. They take down the main army. There's 1 immortal waddling in. But again, this build here from Sig, it was just a little bit messy. It didn't really come into fruition. It got scattered. That was the most brutal part here, is that because it got scattered, I'm sure that made Sig, or that kind of deterred him from committing, from doing anything with the Adepts. As Eba, he saw everything. He saw everything he needed to with the early Twilight Council, with the Gateway Explosion. And Eba, he will break down the 3rd. And from here, he can just keep going, to be honest. He can't just keep going. He can take down the Cyber Core. Or just walk in. He just walk in. Oh no! Does catch the Immortal. Ah, the Immortal does survive. Okay, never mind. Roach is going to the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Sigge can hold on 2 bases, but oh no! Ah, the mineral line is going to fall. It takes down 8. 8 probes do go down. At the same time, Adepts they shade into the bases. Okay, they get some counter damage. They get some damage done. Meanwhile, the natural is exposed. Overreaction to the main. And Eba going for the Cybercore, just going for the mineral line. Once again, just races on past. Goes for the probes. Goes to the pylon as well. The Artosis pylon. Oh, okay, thankfully. There's the second pylon. Second pylon does keep at least some of the gateways powered. But there's still roaches in the main. There's still roaches in the main base. Everything's still on fire here for Sig. Sig down to 25 workers. Down to 22. Down to 21. 21 probes, and Eba going into mutas. GG gets called. Eba, he will claim the series 2-0. He will advance on into the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played with that. Eba, he does claim the series. He does shut down Sig. Again, just a really safe response out of Eba. Remember, he saw the Twilight Council, he saw the gateways, he respected it, he went into his own 2-base setup, 2-base saturation, rush into the lair, rush into roach speed, and again, initially he was waiting for Adepts. They never arrived. Adepts, they never arrived, so it's like, oh, okay, I'll just wait for roach speed, and then bam, counterattack. And we saw that there were only glaive Adepts to defend. Like, that's unfortunately what Sig was stuck with, you know, opening up glaives. It fell in its face. He didn't really commit. He got scattered, so he didn't feel confident committing to the glaive Adepts. I mean, there's a high chance it wouldn't have worked anyway, just because it already got scattered, just because there were already so many roaches, and he was stuck with his pants down. He was stuck with his pants down. He was trying to transition into Double Robot Immortal, but it was too little too late. Like, the build just kind of fell on its face there, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Eba will claim the series, and Eba will advance on. Let's go. Let us go. I like how Eba also took a fake Evo chamber upgrade for like 3 minutes. If you remember, the reasoning for that is because he was getting ready for the Glaive Adepts, and you want to preserve your resources for Mass Roach. Only getting Roach speed just for that, unless if you're hurrying to like afterwards. But it was just all about roaches, all about roaches. Ooh, and with that, GG well played. With that, we're going to be following Eba into his next series, as it looks like the entirety of Round 16 has concluded. We have a lot of updates. We have a lot of updates here. Let's go. Let's catch up on the brackets. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed.